great review on the bunker. So
Yeah.
on that note, all right. Who wants to go first this week? Any volunteers? All right, fine. I'll go.
I'll go. You go. I don't care. Doesn't matter. I'm fine going first, second, or third. And I think I'm going to pull out the bunker and try to read that for next week.
Okay. That would be a nice little pool there.
Man, that's 19 issues. Holy cow.
So before I get to my surprise read, I read the new Fantastic Four #1. I love these kind of, these kind of oddball groups. I read the Savage Avengers, recently as well. And this kind of falls into that same vein for me. I love this, the new Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Ghost Rider, and this is Mr. Fix-It. I mean, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, he definitely looks more hulkish than Mr. Fix-It is on that cover. That's for sure. So anyway, nothing really happened in this book except them getting together. I didn't even know, and I'm sure Patrick, you're going to be able to educate me. Well, I already educated myself a little bit, but you probably already knew this. That this group has been together. It was a 3-arc storyline back in the day in Fantastic Four already, right, Pat? Did you know that?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Did Art Adams do those issues as well?
Yeah.
That's why whenever this came up a few weeks ago, I said it just looks strange to me not being drawn by Art Adams.
Yeah. So
there's others.
So there was actually some things that having not read that other story arc, I feel like I was missing here. It really, like I said, I just felt like there was things I should know that I didn't know. And it actually did the cool thing where it shows the asterisks and, refer back to these issues for the info that I don't know. But basically they're getting together, but they're kind of all over the place. They're like teleporting everywhere. That's kind of a weird part that I thought I didn't know why it was happening. But basically there's a demon in the subways the sewers of Las Vegas, and this priest prays for the new Fantastic Four to come help him fight these demons, and it actually has the effect he wants, and they all end up there in miscellaneous ways too. Like Wolverine feels like he needs to go there, Spider-Man feels like he needs to go there, maybe I'm butchering, Wolverine and Ghost Rider feel like they need to go there, but then Spider-Man and Hulk are just like, or no, Mr. Fix-It is already there, actually. He's a bouncer in one of the clubs, and then Spider-Man is just like teleported there. I'm not exactly sure, but then they, of course, help this priest fight the demons that are taking over and possessing all of the homeless people in the sewers of Vegas. So, and that's kind of it. There's a couple other tricky things that I don't understand that I can't even explain that seem to be referenced from the first time they were together in Fantastic Four. Do you remember what that story was about, particular, Pat?
I do not.
Okay. So anyway, it was fine, but not a lot's going on, and it was a little confusing to me. So I'm gonna just say, unless you're a big Fantastic Four fan, where maybe you have the old information, this is a forget it for me.
Who do you know who the writer was on that, Kevin?
I don't. I have this note card that Mike gave me to write all this stuff down, but I don't.
I'm really confused about this because when this popped up on the pick 3, I thought this was the cover for a reprint of those 3 old Fantastic Four issues by Walt Simonson and Art Adams, because I just got my DCBS and I got New Fantastic Four #1. I got 2 different covers because there was an Art Adams variant. The A cover was Nick Bradshaw, which is he's sort of like an Art Adams. I don't want to say clone because he sort of developed in his own ways, and I got the variant cover by Art Adams, which is just Wolverine by himself. So I don't even know what this is. I don't know.
I got it open here.
Oh.
And actually, that's not even the cover I have, but this is the cover I have. But I couldn't find a good picture of this to.
Okay.
But that's the cover I have. But anyway, the writer's Peter David.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a completely new story that, like I said, they reference the
artist.
Alan Robinson, color artist Mike Spicer.
Okay, so I don't know what's going on here.
Letterer VC's Joe Caramagna.
Yeah, I don't have mine handy, or I'd see if it was the same book. Because this was pick 3. I'm getting too far down. I'm getting too far down into the weeds. It's not important, but there was so many different covers. Maybe we all just got, that accounts for 4 different covers now. But that's not unusual, I suppose.
Yeah, there were a ton of covers.
Yeah, I actually got 3. and for the very variant show too. I got this one. I got the Wolverine one, and I can't remember exactly what the third one was. But you actually got 3 of them.
Oh, you had the Fortnite cover too, I think, Kevin. I think
yeah, that's it.
Yeah, like 8 covers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, like I said, it's not a horrible book. It's just, unless you're a Fantastic Four fan and you know the history of it and stuff, it really wasn't that good for me. And then the shocker is I actually read House of Slaughter #1.
Ah.
The first horror book I've read in probably over 20 years. And it reminded me why I don't read horror books.
Oh, no.
Well, I wonder if not having read Something is Killing the Children.
Right. I was going to say that too. That's, this is kind of a theme and unintentional because I just grabbed these 2 random to read. And, but it is similar to the New Fantastic Four in the way that I was very confused with a lot of this. I kind of had I wouldn't say confused. I just kind of had I was guessing at a couple things on my own as to exactly what's going on in the House of Slaughter. So basically, I don't think, especially since this is a new series by itself, and obviously it's off of another series, there was no backstory as to what the House of Slaughter is exactly.
Right.
And kind of what they're, I don't know. You probably know, having read the Something is Killing the Children. Are they good guys or bad guys?
They're
the kids at the House of Slaughter.
The House of Slaughter. They're good guys, but they do bad things in order to do the good things.
Okay, gotcha. Okay,
and within there's good factions and bad factions in a way that they're just. They elitist. They think they're better than the other ones and stuff.
Yeah, like they were fighting amongst each other. Yeah.
You have the black mask, the blue mask, the white mask.
Yeah.
And they all think they all have different roles for different monsters and stuff like that. And there's like this competition between them. And
are they all vampires?
No, not that no.
Okay. I was just guessing at that.
Yeah, what they do is they track down these monsters and they try to kill the monsters to save people. But what they also do is they take out witnesses, so they could actually potentially kill innocent people to keep them from talking about what happened. So they're good and bad.
Okay. Do they have powers or abilities that make them fight monsters well, or are they just a bunch of normal trained people?
They do have to become a member of the House of Slaughter. They have to. There are certain parameters. Like usually, they survive an attack from a monster, and then they have to face that monster and survive again or something like that. And so they have these abilities to fight the monster, but it's it's not
necessarily powers or anything.
Right. A lot of it's mental as well. So,
all right, there's my big point. I read, and this is I think this is a double-sized issue. It's definitely more than a regular issue. This is my point about this book. I read this, and this morning, and I feel like if I just read this book this morning, I shouldn't have had to ask you the questions I just read you, or I just asked you. I should have read the answers to those questions, because those are fairly basic, I think, step off questions to get this story going, and I didn't know the answer to those.
Yeah.
Basically, all this issue happens. It follows one character that is in the House of Slaughter, and he's kind of a newbie. So the other kids are messing with him, and he's just training through this entire number one. He's just training to be able to, start fighting monsters, and then it ends. That's all that happens in this book. So I think it's major lack of information, and it just nothing happened. It wasn't very good.
I imagine that Tinian's writing it assuming that anybody that's going to read it is going to be, they've already read Something Is Killing the Children. They're going to follow that. So it's
right.
But that's kind of a downfall, because someone like you that hasn't read it, or someone who just sees this on the shelf,
exactly,
grabs it.
Yeah. So anyway, this is a hard pass for me. Mike's like, I'm going to read this so I can review it and get it back up on
Well, dude, I'm interested. It was next on my big chunk of books to read.
Oh yeah, okay.
But I just put it underneath the bunker.
Okay.
But I do want to read it even more so now, just to see if, since I've read Something's Killing the Children,
if it would be good to you,
see if I follow it a little bit better than you.
Right. Okay. So. All right, Mike, you want to go next then? That's all I got.
Yep. Let me minimize my screen here. I didn't know I was next. All right. I read Our Fighting Forces 131. This is not a new book. It came out in 1971.
15 cents.
Yeah, I know. I love it, right? So I read this. I didn't get any new books this past week, so I don't have a new book to review. And you'll see in my upcoming segment, I just got this in the mail. So this is Our Fighting Forces 131 from May-June 1971. Artist is Ross Andrew and John Severin. And because I knew Patrick would wonder, as I did, John Severin is Marie Severin's brother. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, what's the relation? Husband, wife? So John Severin is Marie Severin's brother. And she is a popular Marvel artist. I think she did a lot of the Hulk. And she also worked for EC Comics, I think. Anyway, what we've got is... it starts with there's a young French kid. He's fighting some of the Nazis, and one of them throws a potato masher grenade. And Captain Storm, who is one of the losers, he trips trying to knock it out of the way due to his wooden leg, and he misses or barely tips it, and the kid ends up dying. So the rest of the story is just him fighting a losing battle of his past and how he feels a loser and inadequate and not being a full man, calling himself half a man because he's got that wooden leg. So him and the losers end up getting a 24-hour pass, and he's at a dance, and once again there's an enemy raid and an explosion, and he's unable to save this woman that he just met that he was dancing with. So it even pushes him further into doubting his worth and how good of a man he is. Their follow-up mission, they're going up against a a Nazi major, and his men who've never been beaten. So of course the loser's going against some notorious winners. He's doubting himself, and they're going to rescue a Norwegian man that they've captured. And so when they get there, Captain Storm grabs the guy, jumps out the window with his backpack or backup parachute, and when he lands, he hits a snow-covered rock, and it snaps his wooden leg. So once again, but they end up saving the guy. He separates from the rest of the losers. They go get the guy to the boat, and he's being chased by the Nazis, and he's fighting the major, and then the losers come up behind him, blast everybody, save the day, and they have a nice conversation about how he's not half a man, he's a great leader and stuff like that. So here's some it was really good. I loved it. Here's some interior artwork. Just love that action right there.
Yeah. And these are the losers that everyone got to love from the Losers movie, right? One and the same, right?
Not that I know of. I don't know if they've ever done a movie.
Oh, you've never seen the movie The Losers?
No.
Yeah, it's totally based on these guys.
Well, now I need to watch that movie.
Apparently, I need to do a what Kevin watched review on that.
Yeah, do that for me.
All right.
It's just great artwork. I love these. I'm a real big fan of the war books from the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
Slowly trying to pick up inexpensive, nice copies. I got this one for $2 on eBay. Couldn't go wrong. And now I'm looking for this because it's an ad. And I had taken this picture and I was just flipping through it, showing Emily, and she goes, "Oh, Gridiron Grabber, you want that?" I'm like, I want it. I'm gonna look for it. So, all I can find are ads. You can buy ads.
What's the scale of that picture, too? Did you blow that picture up, or
it's half a page?
Huh?
It's a half-page ad.
It is still a half page. Wow.
Yeah, you can. That ad right there. People sell just that ad for like $8.
Wow.
So I couldn't find the actual Gridiron Grabber. So
interesting.
Yep. So there we go. Our Fighting Forces featuring the Losers. Joe Kubert cover as well. He does.
Yeah, I'm not a war comics fan, but I just was sitting here staring at that cover. It's awesome.
Yeah. He doesn't do the interiors, but he does the covers. Then Jack Kirby has that like 14 or 15 issue run a little bit later on in the series. But yeah, I just love the Kubert covers. Every book to me is worth it just for that cover, and then it's got great storytelling as well. So
yeah, that could be a modern cover. It's so awesome.
Yeah. So that is my review, and it is it's a back issue. Get it if you are interested in war comics.
Well, must have if you're interested in war comics.
Yeah, that's a must have. Yeah.
But get it if you know what's good for you in general. Got it.
But like you said, if you're not a fan of war comics, you're just not gonna.
Yeah.
But I've got a Marcus. As soon as he saw it, he goes, "Can I have that?"
Yeah.
So now I got to go pull my doubles for him. I have a couple Kirby doubles I'll pull for him. Should have known he'd want them.
All right, what you got, Pat?
So I did not watch, because I was on vacation, the whole show last week. So I did not get to see Mike's review of the Passageway.
Okay.
So this might be interesting to compare with our thoughts on it. The only thing I picked up on was his final verdict, so I could do the graphic for the Get It or Forget It comics at the end.
Yeah.
But so this is part of Jeff Lemire's and Andrea Sorrentino's Bone Orchard mythos. Their line coming out, and then over the next few years, they have grand plans. The first book, and some of this Mike and I had talked about, was this Free Comic Book Day Prelude issue, which was about a writer who goes to sort of like a vacation home to get away. He has writer's block, but he also has some family issues going on, and creepiness ensues. And it was a great intro. There's a lot of unanswered questions. You don't really know what's going on. But you can see a theme in both of these books that I'm talking about here, or use, their use of sort of, the unknown creepiness sets in. Their use of color with Dave Stewart, who is the colorist for a lot of Mike Mignola's Hellboy stuff, I think is an important factor here, because his sort of muted color palette is used throughout, and he really hits home with the use of red. Red just like knocks you right square between the eyes in both of these books. I had read this Prelude comic a few weeks back, I think. And then just yesterday, I got on DCBS, so I was able to read The Passageway last night. Again, this was a hardcover. It's a quick read. Don't hold that against it. As a matter of fact, I plan to go back and reread both of these together. As you try to maybe pick up points that tie this universe together. This was basically, recipe for, craziness. A guy gets dropped off at an island with a lighthouse, with a sole occupant. That's not going to go well.
Yeah.
Not only that, but they discover that there's this hole to nowhere that he's been brought there to investigate. And he gets to investigate it, probably not the way he wanted it to, but weird shenanigans go on between the inhabitant of the island and her relatives that possibly could stretch back to, past lives or years gone by when they were younger. And maybe this is a generational thing, but there's something at the bottom of that hole. I think maybe, again, we don't know for sure, but I think probably he's going to tie this whole universe together. And in the meantime, you're seeing sort of flashbacks to this investigator, his childhood and some traumas that he's gone through. And you don't know if that's related to him being there or if it's coincidence. And it kind of, things finish up, I guess. Some people, their storylines seem to wrap up. And I sort of tagging on to Mike's review, he kind of said, he kind of left it as, if you're a Jeff Lemire fan or fan of this sort of horror, like, sort of like Twilight Zone, maybe, where there's a lot of things left to what, your imagination, or what, you're left to decide what's going on. You might really like it, but if you're wanting, straight out answers to everything and don't want to work a little bit for the answers, it might be a pass. I don't know if I go so far as hard pass. I give it a look. Maybe even try to track down the free comic book day as a good intro. See if you like their style. Sorrentino definitely has a unique look to him. I think his storytelling is very good, although he uses a little bit of some tricks maybe that might confuse readers, so you have to kind of pay attention. Some innovative storyline or storytelling, some panel layouts that are cool once you're used to them, but might put off like a new or casual reader. But yeah, I would definitely give it a chance, and I'm all in on their Bone Orchard universe.
Yeah, I like how they're spacing them out, especially since they're doing hardcover releases in addition to traditional comic book size, small series there. So you don't get, just overwhelmed with so much content coming out.
Yeah, the only problem is like I want to read more of it right now. Yeah. There was one, I talk about good storytelling, but there was one page, where the giveaway, the reveal was on, the second open page, and it's like, why didn't they, space it out so that was on, when you flip the page, you would get that reveal on the next page.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I'm talking about there, Mike, but
is it the double page?
Well, there was, I guess, when he was looking into the hole, and then you could see what was coming, from the inhabitant of the island. There was something else I wanted to say too. I'm blanking again, but oh yeah, I also thought, even though it was, you know, a hardcover, like I said, it was kind of a quick read. You could almost see where they could have broken it up into individual issues.
Right.
I mean, good or bad, I don't know. I think because it was a quick read, they wanted to get it all out at one time, and it reads fine that way. But it definitely could have been serialized and maybe hooked people differently that way. I don't know, but like I said, yeah, I'm all in.
Yeah.
Sounds like it'll be interesting to hear what you guys have to say once you've read all this. You know, like, you know, not so much. I don't think it'd be something I'd be into anyway, but you know, where one of those things where people are like, after the fact, it's like, yeah, and it's a much better read once you have all 6 issues or whatever, and you read it all at one time rather than, you know, reading it as it came out. You know,
yeah. Because the next one I think is a mini series.
Yeah,
10,000 Black Feathers. I think I don't know if it's 6. I don't remember how many issues. I did keep an eye out on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
But I can't even remember all the specifics now. So we'll refer back to it.
Well, even though I won't read it, I'll definitely be interested to hear what y'all have to say as you read it. Because that sounds interesting. I told Mike during the show that reminds me of that show I watched, the Outer Range with the big hole in the middle of the prairie that was a mystery that, you know, all craziness ensued from that hole too. So yeah, I don't know whether there's any real similarities there aside from that. So
yeah, have you gone back and listened to my review yet?
No, I haven't had a chance.
I don't know if you got this. I'd mentioned that the feel of the book reminds me of M. Night Shyamalan, and just how his movies are very quiet. They're very quiet parts, and that's the way I read that book. It's just a lot of, you know, small conversations and real quiet stuff.
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
All right, cool.
Not bad.
So I wanted to say at the end of our Get It or Forget It reviews, which book will be added to the Fun Fan Freebie lot for the week. But you're saying that Passageway is a hardcover.
I think it's like a $20 hardcover. That's where the DCBS kind of softens the blow, because I think it was like $11.99 or something like that.
I bought that, and I ordered the Things from Another World exclusive cover. I don't know why. I was like, oh, I want that click.
And then we got the U.S. Fighting Forces.
Yeah.
Our Fighting Forces. Yeah, that's. I mean, we can get copies of that easily.
Okay, just pick one, because Mike, I think your views on if I had read Something Is Killing the Children, maybe House of Slaughter would be better. I think those are valid. And then, like I said, the new Fantastic Four, maybe if I knew about that old story arc too, that would be better for me as well. So which one of those two? Since I think if you'd read the old 3 Fantastic Four or Something Killing the Children, they'd be get-its. They're fine. They're not bad books.
Yeah.
I just got my issues. Which one do you think we should add to the Fun Fan Freebie phrase lot?
I would say the Fantastic Four, because I think most comic book readers and collectors are readers of superheroes. The Passageway and Our Fighting Forces, those are more of a niche subject. So I think we'd make more people happy with the Fantastic Four book with Wolverine and Hulk. I mean, those are great characters.
All right, cool. So the new Fantastic Four #1 is the next book to be added to the Fun Fan Freebie Phrase giveaway. So there's now 3 books in the Fun Fan Freebie Phrase giveaway. So it's starting to get there and some decent value.